They say the Euphrates River's drying up, man. So what's beneath it? Yeah, they say the Mississippi River's drying up. What's beneath it? Where is the Euphrates anyway? Where's Asia? And where's Havila, man? Oh, they got Havila over present day India. Crazy, man. It's crazy talk. Because other cartographers might have Havila right where South America is. Ooh, the Pangea flow. It was all a dream. It was all connected, right? It was all connected. I mean, you can't brush off any maps, man, especially when we talk about cartography. Some people take the orientation real serious. This map should be used when studying the teachings of our prophet. Yeah, you thought it was play? Yeah. This orientation with Havila over South America, that orientation should be used when studying the teachings of our prophet to us as found in the Quran, questions for Moorish Americans, Moorish literature, the Holy Quran, right? So this is what the Moors are using when studying the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. They don't they don't put her villa over there. Nah, boss. This is for suckers, man. They don't put a villa over in present day so-called India. Nah, they put it in India Superior. Right. So if a villa is here, on top of that, they got Zion where Peru is. Okay. And Euphrates right above it. Whoa. Now would this be the Mississippi? We're going to talk Colorado River, Grand Canyon flow as well. We can't count that out. Some refer to the Euphrates as the Anion River. Euphrates, pretty much means a gushing forth of water. So might not just be one particular place like the Nile is a great river, Nile. But so is the Euphrates called the Nile. Let's just take a step back. So this, map on kebab.org, it has Zavala in present day India. It has a question mark where it has Pashan because, it could be to the left or a little above it. Got the Ganges right above Havala, right? Okay. This Orientis finds map of 1531. This got the Ganges, right? Right to the, like the west coast of North America, since South America is connected directly to Asia. There's no North America. Where's Asia? Where's North America? There's no North America, boss. So our fundamental quest is using these maps, the cartography, We're trying to get our bearings. We're trying to get orientation. We're answering a few of these questions, and we have some good meat, some veggie meat to bring to the table as to the fact, as to why we're questioning where the Euphrates is, why we're questioning where the real Nile is, where the real Egypt is, the real Jerusalem, and so on. It's because it seems like they just duplicated and made a phantom of the map after the 16th century, 17th century, all that. So here we are today just believing anything they say. We're in 1531, like in so many other maps in the 1500s, Asia is right here. Cathay is right here. All right. The terrestrial paradise, even the Ganges, which is a very important river, can also be considered a paradise river. Now you see this line that goes straight up. It looks like you can call that maybe the Mississippi as well, right? So I just saw this for the first time, just comparing this. Look at this area here. Compare it with, back to the Moor map, right? Just to show you this ain't play. This is a Moroccan Empire map. Same area, right? Just look at the way it's drawn, so you see there's some real specific orientation going on here, man. They're not just disconnected, you know what I mean? This is Atlantis, right? But it's all Atlantis. It's all a Maxim. It's all Meshi. It's all for Meshi, Moshe. Yeah, man. It's all for Shem. It's all for Shem, but you wouldn't know it since there's no Shem on their map. It's just Ham and Kush. Ham and Kush. I tell you, man, it's hijack city. But for now, let's pay attention on this Mississippi River area above the Gulf of Mexico. Mexico. Moshe Khan. So that area here really coincides with the same flow here. All right, we're just talking the Nile. We're just talking the Mississippi. We're just talking Euphrates. Does North America even exist, boss? Let's go. A Lego. Let's look at this, man. What's this 2023? Let's look at it with a dragonfly perspective again. The perspective of there being no North America is in multiple maps. Orientis finds 1531. 1561 Carta Marina, same thing. South America. China, boss. Grand Tartary, boss. We want to talk Tartary? We're going to talk India Superior. Alicarte de Navigare, 1620, same thing. South America, Cusco, Peru, going right. Right, Mexico, going right. China, what? India Superior, boss. And Tangu, where a lot of the wars were fought between Genghis Khan and Prester John, or King David. We're talking Canada, we're talking Canada, we're talking India Superior. Let's go. Place Fiero de Roselle, 1508. Same thing. South America, India Superior. So we're not tripping, asking a simple question. Where's the Euphrates? Because if this is the old world, right? If this is India Superior, boss. I said, if this is India Superior, my not. That means everything we've been taught is a lie, right? You're not from no Africa. They found you in a superior India. Columbus wasn't lost and stumbled on India or nothing. He came to India superior looking for the Grand Khan, looking for Prester John. Or, descendant of Genghis Khan by that time. Who knows who had, you know, who was sitting on the Khan at that time? Who knows, who had the Khan? Was it still King David or was it after the Genghis Khan invasion? And is this all the same thing? Maybe the Columbus invasion is the same as the Genghis Khan invasion. It's the same as the so-called Titus invading Jerusalem. I mean, yeah, the 1400 years is nothing when you look at the three major chronological time shifts. One includes 1,778 years. 1,800 years on your ass. 1,800 years. They're shifting time. They're pushing events back 1,800 years. So they're giving you Vespasian, Titus, and all this in the early ADs could easily be Columbus in them, man. Could easily be Genghis Khan in them. Could all be the same thing. Because we just talking China balls. And we just talking Mexico. Tartary, right? India Superior, Cathay, Florida, Fountain of Youth. Let's go. Let's ask some questions. I like asking questions. I'm going crazy. I like to ask questions. So this is the basic map of today. We're going to say, Euphrates, Tigris, all these are paradise type rivers, right? Havala would now be over there. You got Kush over here now. Everything over here or over there now. You know what I'm saying? All right. We'll keep that up. Let's keep going. So the Euphrates, they have today to the left of Havala. We just established Havala's right here in South America, according to Drew Ali. Okay. Keep it going. India or India Superior, right? India or India Superior. Superior, boss. Mexico, superior, boss. Cathay, India, China, boss. India, right? Then they got the other India over here. But you got India and India, superior, where North America is, man. Here, it's just called Grand Tartary, like the Tartars, right? Genghis Khan in them, right? Okay, right. Asia, got it. Let's go. All right. So we're talking Mississippi. Yeah, man. Is there a city underneath the Mississippi, right? So, I'm just going to juxtapose a little bit, make some comparisons between what's happening in the Euphrates and back here at home with the Mississippi, with our rivers here. You know what I'm saying? There is a city, at least one. I've done very little research on this, but very quickly I found one city named Prentice, also known as Wellington, also known as Indian Point, Managa, Indian Point, Indian Town, Managa. Are we talking about a kingdom or a town? They always downplay it like it's a small little town, ghost town. What the hell is a ghost town? Somewhere they took over and moved out, you know what I'm saying? Somewhere they were mining. But what's underneath the river? If there's a ghost town there, most likely they were mining something. And then they flooded it out. And now we're hearing about all these prophecies. Get the first part. I'll leave the link. We did a 4-hour drop. All right, get the first part about the Euphrates. So, now there's the Islam Arabic prophecies of this treasure under the Euphrates being revealed when it dries up. Then it's a whole nother prophecy in Revelation about these angels that are bound or dragons that are bound. Where? Euphrates there or Euphrates here? Okay. Once a thriving river point and county seat, Prentice was destroyed during the Civil War. You know that was all about destroying the Naga. And then washed over by the Mississippi River during the 1870s. You know that's when it was all happening. All the cover-up, all the damn dams, right? Speaking of damn dams, keep Mississippi in mind. I'm going to go right next to it. Got this map up from Aventa Maps. I'll focus on this Flaming Gorge National Recreation Area, Flaming Gorge. That's pretty much connected to the Uinta National Forest. There's a lot of mystery around the Uinta because that's connected all to what Utah, right? That's Lake City. You got Salt Lake City, and then you got this Flaming Gorge situation, right? Like a St. George with the flaming sword, trying to destroy the dragon, kill the dragon. Speaking of dragons, when you look at these rivers, they really do look like, those type of Chinese water dragons from a bird's eye view, look a little dragony. I'm just saying, they look very dragony. There's a lot of mythology around dragons in these rivers, right? So, okay. Flaming Gorge, huh? The Uinta is also known for a possibility of Noah's Ark or the Ark of the Covenant. There's a lot of mystery around the Uinta connected with this Utah or Judah. Keep that in mind. So this Flaming Gorge area is like a big, today it would just be like a reservoir, man. Oh, there they go. Flaming Gorge Reservoir. And right next to it says Devil's Playground, Wilderness, Study Area. You know who they be calling devils, the dragons, right? So I'm seeing a lot of dragon energy coming out this spot. Devil's Playground, my night. Leviathan is HaWah's dragon in Job. And they even call Leviathan Satan or the devil in etymology, right? So we know they call our dragons devils. They call us savages. We all get a bad rap. We get it. Flaming Gorge Reservoir, which means another city must be under this water, right? We got the one under the Mississippi, at least one of them. Flaming Gorge popped off around this Flaming Gorge dam, right? Here we go. Another damn dam. You already know, man. We did a whole drop on Naga City on the water, man. Research the Tennessee Valley Authority, TVA. Just get the drop. How many cities are underwater because of these reservoirs? Right now they can go fishing and all these other activities, man. Look at it, man. Crazy. But then they're going to admit get it big. Let me get it big. Let's get it from here. It says people have lived in this area for about 10,000 years. While the first inhabitants dwelt mostly in open areas, our best preserved evidence of their culture has come from caves and shows a mobile hunting gathering. Nigga, man, this is high tech. They were just hunter gatherers. That's what they want to tell us. They were just hunting and gathering. This was a civilization. What's really beneath these water? A little city or high technology, right? If people lived in this area for 10,000 years, then whatever you buried is over 10,000 years old. At a much later date, some 1,500 years ago, the Fremont culture appeared. So now they're connecting it with Nagas from 1,500 years ago. You know, this is not no Caucasians, right? These horticultural people made some use of caves and lean toes, TOS, but also existed in sedentary villages with pit houses. Cultural evidence of the Fremont people disappears some 650 years ago. Really? All cultural evidence of these Fremont Nagas just disappeared 600 years ago? Let's do the math, my Naga. It's 2023. You going back to the 1400s on me, man? You going back to 13, 14, 1500s? Now all cultural evidence of the Naga disappears? Disappears, boss. How we disappeared in 1400s, huh? Oh, Columbus sails the ocean blue. Oh, 1452, Papal Bull Doom Diverses, subjugate all non-Christian lands, right? All Nagas, all Israel, right? Yeah, this is more and more war, right? This is some more and more war, man. And now you got a bunch of fish. But this Green River connects to the Colorado River, right? So keep that in mind, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you talk Euphrates, you know. The Mississippi could be Euphrates. The Mississippi could be Nile. The Nile could be the Euphrates. It could be the same river. You're just talking great rivers. Even though they're duplicating it over there on that side of the plain, you know what I mean? The Colorado could be the Euphrates, man. We don't know, right? We don't know. We're just asking the question. We've been saying that, right? Flaming George, man. All right. 1869, Major John Wesley Powell, remember? Powell Lake and all that. Powell was doing a lot of exploring, a lot of covering up, taking a lot of artifacts. And his expedition party, his invasion party, floated in the Green River with brilliant colored cliffs and named this area Flaming George. The deep red cliffs of Flaming George were formed as the Utah Mountains uplifted some 70 million years ago, and the Green River held its place by cutting through the ancient rocks. So they're talking about beautiful, preserved. This is sacred land, man. They saw such colorful cliffs they had to call it Flaming George or Gorge. Come on, man. So it's all connected with this Yunta, and the Yunta is connected with this Ark of the Covenant mysteries and all kinds of stuff, man. Look how big the Utah National Forest is. Right, you got Ash, you got high Utah wilderness. I mean, they say it goes up to what 12,000 feet, right? Managa, you got a dinosaur national monument. We know we talking dragons. They got hella dragons around here, man. Let's go, man. Let's go. So what's under Flaming Gorge? Linwood, the town that drowned. Wow. Every summer, thousands of people visit the Flaming Gorge Reservoir in Utah's northeast corner, but few of them would know about the little town of Linwood buried beneath the water's surface. Linwood grew near the confluence of Henry's Fork and the Green River. Some of this Green River got some drama, man. This might actually be a dragon, man. Right on the Utah-Wyoming border, the mouth of Henry's Fork was long a gathering place for trappers, traders, explorers, but it wasn't until the 1890s that a man named George Solomon surveyed the spot for a town site. He named it Linwood for all the cottonwood trees in the area. The Flaming Gorge Dam was built in the early 1960s. The rising water of the reservoir drowned that little town. This town was drowned in the 60s. They've been building dams throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s, to the 2000s, even still, for the purpose of drowning your Naga cities. So you're looking around like, I don't understand where where's our city? Your cities are underwater, man. Look how many damn dams there are, man. The Army Corps of Engineers, they've been specially tasked. The Army, right? The invaders' Army Corps of Engineer have been drowning your cities. So you got another city, one under the Mississippi, another under the Flaming George Reservoir, and the list goes on and on. Let's keep it going. So they say the Euphrates is drying up. And I'm going to get some drive from some key scholars, man, that's been, pulling this Euphrates drop together throughout the years and just, do some good honors, man, to a lot of the reconners, man, out there, you know what I'm saying, in Nagarville, man. Well, will there be tons of gold in the Euphrates when it dries? Everybody want to know. If the Garden of Eden was bordered by both the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, how much did both rivers change Noah's flood? So the Garden of Eden was bordered by the Tigris and the Euphrates. Okay. Interesting, right? Because here, on this Noble Drew Ali orientation, right, you got the Euphrates, which seems like, it's cutting right in, the South American border, or, you got a Mississippi flow, or it's all the same thing, right? And then you got Eden, pretty much where the, four corners would be. This big old water here, that's like the Great Lake or the Great Salt Lake, the ancient lake that they say used to be, all the water in Utah that that went underground, during the Anasazi flow, the 1200s, you know what I'm saying? Same thing as the migration of the Nagas, into Tenochtitlan towards the 1300s, all that stuff through Mexico. So they say Eden is bordered by the Tigris and Euphrates. So I see the Euphrates here. I see the River Paisan. I see the River Gahan or Ja. And then they got the Hedekil. It's another name for that river as well. And they're all meeting up right in North America, boss. It's the only place it meets. They all meet up right, you know, stretching into Eden, stretching into the four corners, what they call Adam, Andi, Alshma, something like that. But I see Adam. So, they got an Adam flow. We got a Noah's Ark, Unity Mountain, Udall flow. Clearly, Udall's playing, Udall's playing. Plays heavy. You got a Zion, which they have closer to like a Peru flow. All right. But just see where they have the Euphrates here. And, see how it lines up with either the Mississippi or Colorado flow. Okay, we just investigate. It's all good, man. Empty your cup, my naga. Empty your cup. But beneath the Euphrates, they're saying some things, right? So if Noble Ali's putting the Euphrates, right here in your face bone, that's up to us to ask, okay, what's in it? We're talking cities of gold. That matches up with this whole Coronado flow. That matches up with Estebanico, right? Black Stephen coming over here with Mendoza and them, right? It matches up that the gold will be right here, right? Because they're all looking for all the gold right here. God. So whatever is trapped under Euphrates, I mean, look how long this Euphrates would be. It's not a short river. It's a long river, just like the Nile would be. But do you see in this little Africa piece, do you see the Nile? Right? But you see the Euphrates here, right? And something's beneath it, like gold, like treasures, like gold, like cities of gold. Treasure for a night. Is the Euphrates River gold? Many of the prophecies that Muhammad stated 1400 years ago have come true. One prophecy concerning the drying of the Euphrates and the unearthing gold has yet to come true. Could it have happened if we're talking Euphrates Grand Canyon? Keep that in mind. This prophecy is a critical prophecy as the war that is predicted is closely linked to the coming of Mahdi. All right. So Muhammad says the hour will not come to pass before the river Euphrates dries up to unveil the mountain of gold. Cities of gold. Oh. So for which people will fight, 99 of every 100 will die in the fighting. And every man among them will say, maybe I'm the only one to remain alive. So we're talking some major activities, some major famine, some major, cataclysm of war, you know what I'm saying? All coming to America, man. If we're looking at you from a dragon perspective. Declining water levels, hey, maybe it's drying up because HaWah, the Euphrates River is known also as the Nahar, the longest and one of the most historically important rivers in Western Asia. Managa, where's Asia? Where's Asia? Right, Western Asia. Here we go, Western Asia. Is this the same Euphrates River? Is that the same Euphrates River as this? And is that the same Euphrates River as this? Okay. Nahar, longest, right, and one of the most important historical rivers in Western Asia. The river is also most important because it holds the sign of Kahiyama, Almighty, their Almighty's final assessment of humanity. The river is named after Persian word Euphrates. Didn't we go over some meanings before? Euphrates. Remember that Nahar, AHR. I'm going to keep it a bell. In the Hebrew Bible, it is often referred to simply as the river Nahar or Hanahar, great river. Whoa. Okay. So it's the Nahar al-Farouk, they call it. Nahar al-Farak. Nahar Nar. Got it. What's that got to do with the Mississippi? Keep it in mind, man. Keep it in mind. It could also refer to good and noble. Sweet water. Okay. That mim sauce, primary water. Yosef, take the wheel. Matter of fact, my man, Yosef about to take the wheel, man. I'm tripping, man. I'm about to have Yosef take the wheel, man. Because we just talking about Nahar, right? Even in with the Nile River flow. This is off Judaism.stackexchange.com. In modern Hebrew, a river like the Nile is called the Nahar. Whoa. Nakal is used to describe smaller streams. So the Nahar is also the Nile, my nigga. Let's get it bigger. Just keep it in mind. We're just doing some recon. The Nile is the Nahar, 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 correct. But so is the Amazon Nahar. The Euphrates. Euphrates Nahar, now Nahar. Got it. Okay. Okay. And before I let Yosef take the wheel, just on that Uinta drive back to the Uinta Mountains, the Udall flow. I'm gonna get back to this link, but this is all this is connected. The Green River cuts through Utah and down to meet with the Colorado, right? Colorado, now you got your Grand Canyon flow, but all that is still connected with what's happening with the Uinta flow, right? All this is the same water, man. The Euphrates flow, the Nahar flow, Colorado River going into the Grand Canyon where a supposed ancient giant find was made. What might giants and the ark have to do with each other, man? What? Yeah, the Uinta Mountains, man. It's a lot of interesting things happening. Connected with the ark, whether we're talking Ark of the Covenant. Okay. It's getting too good. It's getting too good. We're just talking the covenant. Oh, whoa. And then, they start connecting it with Noah's Ark. Okay. Yeah. And then they start pulling in the Cherokee flow, man. So something's going on. So why would the ark be left within the Uinta Range? A person of faith would tell you that it's because God told the guardians of it to place it in a specific location. The Uinta Mountain Range has an interesting east-west orientation. To anyone of faith, east and west hold meaning. Yeah, what else could it be? Hey, where's the tabernacle? I seen it all. I seen it, boss. Nothing to see here, man. Oh man, then you can find with the Uinta Mountains, Noah's Ark, comparisons and connections, and Mount Suleiman, and all this is happening, man. So I'm gonna let Yosef take the wheel, and then I'm gonna ride with some of these great reconners as we keep asking questions about the connections, whether we're talking language, geology, whether we're talking cartography, my naga. Let's just pop it off. Hey Yosef, man, can you just take the wheel? He's talking about the Euphrates drying up, Mississippi drying up. Let's get this drop from Yosef to real, man. This is off the Tokenth Binocs. They drop every Monday, 8 o'clock Pacific, man. 10 o'clock Central Time. Yosef, man, true, dedicated, consistent kind, dropping the E. A-hop to the dragons on the wall, keeping the water flowing for the Ether squad. Tune in to 432thedrought.com. Download the app for free so you in the classrooms like this right here. Yourself the real. Take the wheel.
Are now locked in mud. In Louisiana, the receding waters revealed a century-old sunken ship. Tower Rock in Missouri, normally an island in the middle of the flowing river, now accessible by foot for the first time in over a decade. The Mississippi is normally one of the busiest cargo waterways in America, moving roughly 500 million tons of goods every year. More than half of all U.S. grain exports are moved on this water superhighway. But this drought, which constricts the depth and width of the river, has caused traffic jams. By some estimates, the flow of goods has been cut by 45%, all of which could cost the economy $20 billion in damages and losses.
Every time you lose a foot of draft on a barge, that's the equivalent of about 6,000 bushels of soybeans.
Lou DeLorco is the Chief of Operations for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers St. Louis District. He oversees dredging operations there, removing sediment from the riverbed to widen or deepen its channel. He says, with this lack of rainfall, it's a constant struggle to know where to dredge next.
Based on the forecast, you're looking for the next problem area that you have to hit before one of them turns into a channel closure. So you get that off the forecast, and it's really an analysis of when it's going to become an issue and how do you get there before it becomes an issue.
And as the river's fresh water shrinks, salt water from the Gulf pushes further upstream, threatening the drinking supply used by residents south of New Orleans. Mayors of towns up and down the Mississippi are asking for federal assistance as conditions are expected to worsen through the winter. I recently spoke with one of those mayors, Jim Strickland, mayor of Memphis, Tennessee. Mayor Strickland, thank you so much for being here with us today. I know you have lived most of your life in Memphis. Can you just give me a sense, have you ever seen the river quite this low before?
No, I've worked downtown for 35 years.
It's in Memphis.
Usually with some kind of view of the Mississippi River. I've never seen it with the soil and the sand and the dirt so prevalent. So often we see flooding situations. This is the exact opposite. I've just never seen it this low. Not only visually, but I hear so many complaints about it from the folks who...
So while they popping off on the Euphrates over there, man, they are ignoring what's happening right here at home with the Mississippi.
operate our ports.
People get it if there's a flood, but when the river is low, what does that mean for your city and for your constituents?
It narrows the depth of...
So, back on this water topic. We're popping it off with the water. Because we ain't talking about other than the Euphrates, huh? The Mississippi, right? It's on a drought. Army Corps of Engineers, they're trying to get it together. But, like I've been saying, man can't stop the rain.
Nah.
He can't stop the mountain. Most High is in charge of this situation. So, let's see the solutions.
The barges that ship goods. Normally it's about 14 feet deep. Now they have to narrow it to about 7 feet, sometimes 10, but that's basically half the amount of area to ship goods, which doubles the shipping cost because they have to have 2 barges instead of 1 or find some other way to ship their goods. And barge traffic along the Mississippi is a huge business, and most of the food distribution in the United States comes down the river at some point, so it increases the cost to the shipping companies, which ends up increasing the cost to you and me at the grocery store.
And does that have a more practical impact on your city itself, being that you literally...
Take a look. Take a look in the grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
Your limes are going up.
Mm-hmm.
Your lemons are going up.
Mm-hmm.
Your fruit is going up.
Mm-hmm.
Your vegetables are going up. Everything is going up.
Price is going up. Straight
Except your value here on the mind. in this matrix. No worries though.
Your son got that good ass.
Your ruach ain't measured for this matrix.
That's right. That's right.
Your ruach is measured for the Most High.
Fact.
So all your good works, all your good deeds are stored within the Most High. That's your recon. Structure.
That's the reconstruction. Look out for it, man. And, you know, all my Nagas that have not copped the reconstruction pack, you're going to have a whole nother push, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, get that music to the Nagas, man, to get them out, man. So, you know, we're going to just let you know, man, we're going to have a whole listening party, just take you through the music and all the, you know, the jewels, because there's special jewels we drop. See, the flash drives, we could put special things on them. There's special jewels on the reconstruction pack that I want to, you know, go over and have a good time surfing the wave with. So look out for the reconstruction pack listening party, man. And A-Hop to Yosef, the Real Nice Spiral, and all of the tribal mafia, tribal music popping off, man. Hey, it's just happening and it's just getting started, man. Euphrates is drying up. Mississippi drying up. It's affecting a lot of things, but nobody's really talking about it. Nobody's really talking about it. Let's get a few minutes, you know, I'm just surfing the wave, you know, enjoying some flow. First one we're going to get, fair use in your caboose. A couple minutes of this, you know, this cat talking about this warning. The mountain of gold. And now we got perspective of where this mountain of gold could really be.
River, which
Get up.
You know, gold means something to you other than pure gold, as the hadith indicates. You still have to put a lot of emphasis on the river itself. You have to pin your hope. In other words, if you want to really know about the end of time and you want to see the Mahdi Dajjal, you can pin your hope on that river. Wallahi, you should not do that. But I'm just saying, if you're too excited, if you're too interested to see the Mahdi, then this river is going to give you a lot of indications as to when this Mahdi, the Dajjal, and the Isa ibn Maryam, all of these end of time events will take place. But what we do is time in this channel is that actually we do a lot of the times is that we look back into the river from the news that we have. Now, if you look back at me, look at the back of me, you see this river. This is Furat River, but you see this part of the river is completely dry. I'll play the video from a news that was reported recently. So this news is something giving you a very good, a very current situation of the river. Let's take a look at the video and then we will make a few comments. But before I do that, I want to lower your gaze.
And just think, if they really believe in this prophecy, just like with the Jewish flow, they'll even, you know, make events happen to fulfill or fit those prophecies. So while one could be a river really drying up, they could be drying up another one. Just, you know, with these damn situations, you know, they could be, you know what I mean, playing, you know, oh, okay, let's dry up the fake Euphrates and put no attention on the real Euphrates drying up, you know what I'm saying? Where's the Euphrates, man? And are they on that play over there? Or is it just all happening, man?
Sister, because there is going to be a news reporter. Obviously, she is not wearing hijab, so I want you to be aware of that. Do not blame me if you happen to see her face.
global leaders have been making roadmaps for years.
Because we can't see these ladies' face, so we apologize that you can see this woman's face. Man, these people on that play.
It's all to tackle climate change. Activists say that we're far away from meeting our climate targets. And now a prince has spoken up too. Britain's Prince William has taken a swipe at the billionaires, all those embroiled in a space tourism race. Prince William says the focus should be on saving Earth, not on space travel. Welcome to Beyond's Climate Tracker. I'm Priyanka Sharma. Let's get started now. Neighbors Iraq and Syria have
by the way, before I play the rest of the video, I want to let you know, brothers and sisters, that this channel, WION, is an Indian politics, just like that. take a listen to what she has to say about the Euphrates River.
Battling conflict. And now they have a new issue, climate change. Record low rainfall has resulted in a drought. The Euphrates River, which provides water to both the nations, has been drying up. Harvest has been hit. Food security is now under threat, and both Iraq and Syria are now staring at one more.
And ain't the same thing happening with the Mississippi? I mean, look at all. Man, let's go back here, man. Mississippi. Let's just follow this Mississippi flow for a second, man. Starting down here in New Orleans. And just look at follow the Mississippi all the way up and look at all the towns, cities, or countries that are affected and being fed and all the tributaries of water that branches off from the Mississippi, right? All this is Big Mama, right? I mean, from Mississippi itself to, Louisiana's, man, Indiana's, man. And then it kind of breaks off here towards Arkansas. And I'm still surfing away with the Mississippi all the way up past Missouri. Let's keep going past Illinois. You see how it breaks off here, feeds that way. All this is being fed by the same water. Still going past Wisconsin. This is crazy. Past Minnesota, you're going to flow this thing all the way up, man. Past North Dakota, all that, man. And again, a lot of these look like little, Chinese dragons, man. Like, for real. It's a lot of dragon drop. It's a lot of dragon drop around these rivers, man. So, all the way up to Canada, man. You know what I'm saying? So, Mississippi is a major, great river. I mean, none really compares to it like that. Over here in Utah, even in that, Great Lake situation, Great Salt Lake. Just look how big the Great Salt Lake is. And they're all, right? What does this all got to do with it? What does all got to do with it? You got Moab over there, so this lake is huge compared to anything in the Americas. Look around, see anything to compare. So this is just a remnant of what David, from his name, Forbidden Histories of America, Daniel Lowe, compares this with one of the ancient seas, connected with ancient water. If they're comparable to that, you're going to have to go to like Lake Superior or something. You got to go to Lake Superior to get massive amounts of water. Other than that, even when I pan out, you see this big lake here. So this is something very important. Something very serious going on right here. You know what I mean? As well as with Mississippi. So something's happening over there. Something's happening over here too. And Mississippi drying up. It breaks that. It's all, popping off. It's all happening when you have a shortage of big mama waters, man. Yeah, this is some 2016 drop. Okay, I'm belly flopping 2016 a couple of times. We're having a good time, man. Now we're gonna bring it more into the Grand Canyon conversation and Colorado River flow. See if we can get some young dropper in 2016, man. It's on a wave of my noggin, real heavyweight. Let's get it. Holy Ghost. Yeah, man. Sorry, they were trying to slow down my net, man. But we got it, man. We got it. We patient niggas. We learn to be patient niggas around here. We coming in hot for a dismount, man. So let me do a reload on the page. They don't want to drop. They don't want to talk about the Colorado flow. But we've been talking about the Colorado. Also could be connected with the color red and the Red Sea.
To help me find people, connect me with people so that I can discuss this matter. And that hasn't happened. So very frustrating. I don't know what to do. Video, I'm putting out the information so
All right, here we go. And somebody left a comment. They said, what is this guy
Going to come back to you. He was looking.
Young Dropper popping off already. They said, what's this got to do with the Euphrates, man? They said, I bet this has everything to do with the Euphrates. So, you know, the Grand Canyon got all these temples and all this Egypt in it. Why wouldn't the Nile, the Euphrates, be connected right here in the four corners?
the right angles. You can probably form these into the four pyramids that we find down in South America, flying pyramids. No river can form some of the features that we see at Isis Temple. At Isis Temple, it appears to be a wall in a circular form. A river can make those sharp bends and then create, perfect 90-degree angles in there, and then form almost like a circular sweep on both sides. So it amazes me that in geology, they don't address these issues. I think that most of the river rocks that would otherwise have sharp edges have been rounded off. We only find them where the river is at, but it doesn't appear that we find them above the surface of the water.
You know.
Once I made the correlation between the star system of Orion to the high altitude peaks of the monuments of the Grand Canyon, in my excitement, I looked for different venues where I could talk to people about this. And we had one convention that reoccurs here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I live in Tucson, about 100 miles away, that I decided to go to because we had some very well-known, world-renowned pyramid scientists, I guess, or enthusiasts.
David Hector Childress, known as the real-life Indiana Jones to many of his fans, he's traveled the world several times over seeking adventure and the answers to the mystery.
Traveled the world, Indiana Jones. When you look at Indiana Jones and what he's looking for and where he's looking for, what are you going to come back to?
You.
You're going to come back to you.
Come on.
He was looking for you. He was looking for artifacts that have to do with you, that have to do with this, that have to do with this time. They always are trying to get the drop so that they can have the drop on you. And now he's stumbling on some drop and nobody even want to F with him no more because they're like, yo, that's crazy. That truth will cut open all of our research. We can't back that up because we have to start from scratch. Now they're protecting a system the same way certain people can get into certain, doctrines. Even, my Hebrew brothers and sisters can get into their doctrines, right? We know that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, we've been doing it for decades. So this truth right here cuts open all of our, all the stuff we, said, or our leaders said, or something like that. Then you start protecting the doctrine, and you stop fighting for truth, and you die. You die within yourself, you know what I mean? You gotta wake back up. You gotta revive yourself. Be a Lone Ranger if you have to. Just get that drop.
That dreadnought.
Treaties of mankind's past. I just investigated these subjects for well over 20 years, getting new data for us. So you made reference to the Phoenix Gazette article. Let's talk about that for a moment. It came out in 1909. What was that?
David Children's Castro would be one of them. And he had just done a show with George Norton on Coast to Coast. They were discussing the history of the Grand Canyon, Smithsonian find of the Egyptian artifacts. And they're looking for ancient civilizations. That's what his forte is. And he just went so far as to thinking that it was an underground civilization. And I'm finding that the whole darn thing is the city, a lost city of some continent that goes unnamed. I sort of have the feeling that perhaps this was the lost continent of Atlantis. So I ping-ponged that back and forth in my mind and talked to various people.
Anaga, if this is Atlantis, this is Egypt. If this is Egypt, then the Nile River is over here, and the Euphrates is over here, and all this Middle East talk is over here, because Atlantis is over here, my Naga. This is where it all starts at. This is where they get their start.
I'm not trying to tie this together, but the documents keep coming back.
Let's go.
And we just dropped so much on that, So go back to all the Atlantis drop to catch up to where I'm about to go. And then from there, we'll see what happens.
The way.
We got a lot more to get to. So he's saying, yeah, this is based on his understanding, not mine, based on his research that everyone's ignoring and kicking him out of academia, those circles. They're turning their back on him because he's saying this is Atlantis, the same way that we are coming up with on our own journey, separate from him, that this is Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
So get that fairy tale out your head. Atlantis is Atlas. Atlas is Poseidon's firstborn, who became the first king, or king over everything else. And then he had his brothers, and there were 10 of them, right? So those are the 10 kings. Those are your 10 kings. Those are your dynasties of Egypt.
Bam.
This is the Nephilim seed.
Mm.
This is the seed. That's why they had those heads looking crazy. This was a Nephilim seed, a mixed seed, a seed of demigods. Poseidon seed. Who's Poseidon?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, boss. Let's belly flop.
I'm going to flip it. And I'm going to work the other way because I know how they work. That's
no jaw dropping, and his eyes didn't look like they were any bigger than they were. When I stumbled onto this, my jaw dropped and my eyes popped open. So I don't know what was going on. Perhaps it put him in fear. These people have to rewrite their books, redo their DVDs. They have to include this theory because.
And I say it to our community. We have to, go back to the Creator. It's very simple.
Wow.
We don't got to rewrite anything. We just got to return to the Creator.
Wow.
If you preached against the Creator, if you preach anything coming in between you and the Creator,
wow,
get back to the simplicity of it. Nothing comes.
Hey, nothing comes before HaWah.
Between you and the Creator. And everything.
Hey, you got to get that water, my nigga. Nothing comes between you and HaWah. We've been saying it since 2016.
And you're seeing it's not Egypt. It's not even Atlantis. It's yours.
God.
They came to you. According to their story, you were already here. There were natives here that they mixed in with here. And then when this was blown to bits, they went over there to what we're calling Kemet, right? Now that's the land of Kemet. They went into the land of Kemet. And you'll get into this, but look. Thoth, Tahuti, also checks out to be Tutmosis III, according to my information, right? You look it up. Thoth, Thoth, Tutmosis III. That's when he built what he says when he built the Great Pyramid. Then he built underneath that the halls of Amenti to the underworld.
and put his technology underneath that.
Whoa.
And that's the 18th dynasty, right? So now you got it picking up on the land of Kemet in the 18th dynasty. But remember, they subjugated the people around them and called them barbarians. Is there a story of so-called Egypt going to war with other dark people around them, running them off? The Nubians or anything else? Let's go.
Let's go. 2016. Young Dropper dropping that drop. Throughout all my knockers, man, for all your support throughout the years. Cause the drop don't stop. UBTV. Shout out to the OC. Been trying to tell you about this Tower of Babel. All these things supposedly found over there, right here in your Facebook. Let's go. UB. Bro's doing great work, man. Great recon. Please support all the drop the bros drop.
Go back through. We're going to do a quick view of the stuff that we've discussed before in terms of, I would say, maybe the top 5 things that makes America
Go back.
be new to this information. I would suggest you watch videos like The Art of Atheism is a really good one. It really gives you I would say, the foundational information, and then moving on down the road, that's when we get into the holy heist. So if you start watching The Art of Atheism and you get into the holy heist, you can see exactly how and why I say and know that we are on ancient Holy Land. When I say ancient Holy Land, Israel, Babylon, Assyria, Egypt, all that. It's not over there, it's over here, and I can prove it, and I've done it several times as other people have. Now, the cool thing about this is I'm going to be using scripture, and I'm also going to be using charlatan science, all the science they've developed and think that they know stuff, but it's really interesting how these Magagites conveniently leave out certain things when it doesn't fit their narratives. And we're talking about things that effectively make or break the case for Babylon. So it's funny because I'm going to be able to do a lot of the same stuff that I did in the pyramids video. I'm going to quote some of these charlatan documentaries, and I'm going to make fun of them. So I am going to be using footage, just a couple of clips from other documentaries to show you the levels of just fuckery that this fake history and science is set upon. And I'm going to be making fun of them. So,
Man,
and then there are times when the Nile is brought up, or the word Yaor. Now, this literally means 2 different things. The Nile is a generic term for a brook, a stream, or a tributary. Okay? The Euphrates is the river. For example, Isaiah 19:6, you'll see multiple versions here, and you'll notice that it says the streams of Egypt and the brooks of Egypt and the streams of Egypt. Right there, under what is supposed to be the Nile, Yaor, Bayor, Hayor, 25 occurrences, 7 occurrences for Bayor. Now, if we go over here to the Euphrates, 14 occurrences for the word Parat. Genesis 2:14. And the 4th river is Euphrates. Let's go back over to Isaiah. By the Nile, by the brooks in King James. What? So when you say the Nile, you are saying a brook, stream, or tributary, which essentially means that they singularized a plural noun or a pluralized word. If you understand what I'm saying. They took creek creeks or streams of and turned it into the. That's the deception of language. Right there, if we just look at that, we can know 100% fact that they just created a river in Africa called the Nile. Number one. Because when we go look at the original context of the scripture, the Nile stands for stream. Furthermore, the Euphrates, whose mouth is at the Egyptian sea. But I thought the mouth of the Euphrates was the Persian Gulf. How can the Persian Gulf be the Egyptian sea? How is that possible? According to scripture, the mouth of the Euphrates is at the Egyptian sea. The Euphrates in Iraq flows into the Persian Gulf. Meanwhile, they have an entire whole river in Africa called the Nile. And the Nile is an improper noun, also pluralized. How, Swing? These are simple, contextual bullet points that these pseudo-intellectuals routinely miss. How?
How, Sweat? Bro, been kicking heat rocks, man. We've been doing this for years. A team of reconners. Just putting our recon together, man. You know what I'm saying? So, it's crazy, man. When you just pay attention to how much land we don't really think about when we say Canada, because what they call this area on the Noble Drew map, Assyria, something like that. Look at this, man. Look at all this, man. Look at this, man. I'm just going north, man. All right. That's just Quebec. Then you go Greenland over here. And to get to Greenland, right, you got all these islands. Like, who's up here, man? What's going on up here, right? All this area up here, all these territories. Got all these areas. On the antediluvian map, all that will just be what? Syria. So you got a river, right, that's connected from Assyria all the way through Eden, all the way, man, past the Mississippi, right? Where's Havala? And this is really the big trick. How they do the phantoms and the duplication. So is Havala on this side, or are they gonna put Havala, over there? When we talk about the four rivers that come from Eden, where's Eden? Where's the cities of gold? And what's underneath the Euphrates? And is the Euphrates the Nile? Did they just make up a phantom duplication of this great river? I've heard that they built a fake river over there, that the pharaohs built a fake now. Something like that. You remember what Kutimeo said? Kutimeo. Hey, how UBTV, man? I'm just enjoying the recon from the reconners, man. Yeah, man, River Euphrates in America, remember that? Hold up, man. Let me bob and weave. We're gonna get just a couple more on the way out. I mean, They're talking about this like prophecy, right?
River, right?
Mountain of
With a
gold
tap here.
under. Let's go, Goody Mayo.
I feel nauseous, believe me.
Let me back it up. You back it up.
Why are you not investing in tax liens? No, seriously.
You know, man,
Why are
we
you
should
not
all
investing into one of the most
figure out
incredible
how to
real
invest
estate
in tax
strategies
liens,
that's
man.
the most
How about that,
passive
man? Would that
and
make you happy, Jack? Or should we invest
Support them.
in
Thus, the
ourselves, man?
curious
Invest in joy
insights
work,
were
man.
not only
Yeah, so
exhibited
what
for
they
a
saying,
fee,
man,
but were also
you know,
rare
look,
and
Goody Mayo,
expensive commodities
you know,
sold to wealthy
we're
collectors
working
throughout
this,
Europe. The resultant
document here, and
mingling of
he
social
brought it
groups
back out,
and
man, and
practices was exceptional.
showing us the
The
connection
advertising
between the
poster that
Euphrates
Belted preserved
and the
in his
river in
scrapbook
America, man.
probably was posted by the door of White Elephant Inn and other sites around the city, where it enticed viewers to come and see. The striking black and white woodcut of the unusual in tapir attracts the eye so that even those who were not fluent readers might stop. They're talking about, this advertisement right here, right? Alright. Look and even go in. The text follows with a broad invitation. Alright, so this is what the advertisement says, okay? Listen to this. So it says, to all gentlemen, ladies, burghers, merchants, and furthermore, to all lovers of animals, to come and see this rarity, which many writers say does not exist anywhere in the world. It had been captured in great difficulty and cost in the river Euphrates in America. Again, where did it get captured? In the river Euphrates in America. You see what they're saying right here? The river Euphrates in America. This is probably an error, he says. The Euphrates River is far from America. But geographical accuracy clearly is not the issue. So they're like, no, but they can't be talking about Euphrates River, right? Well, we'll see, right? The work of the posters is to conjure up an exotic locale for a feast that had not been seen by anyone in this country ever, attracting people to pay a small charge for a glimpse of this uncommon sight. Such a description fires the viewer's imagination. Most would never travel to America, but the poster offers an opportunity to encounter that faraway place at the local pub. Belton's sketches give rare insight into the type of responses such encounters elicit. For he does not picture the animal as he saw it, surrounded by onlookers in the White Elephant Inn. Rather, he paints a colorful gouge of several tapirs grazing peacefully in the waters of what is undoubtedly meant to be the Euphrates River in America. Undoubtedly meant to be the Euphrates River in America.
Goody Mayo got the drop. Go dig on it. The bro been popping off, man. We appreciate the support. Let's keep it rocking, man. Drop Nation, we up. Let go. Okay. But relax. There's some prophecy. We're getting on the way out. Let's see what they have to say about this biblical revelations prophecy. We know if it's coming out the New Test, you're going to have to get ready to dodge all hijacks at all costs. And, get the babies out, the bathwater, see how it is.
Strangled by the water policies of Iraq's neighbor, Turkey and Syria, 3-year severe drought, and years of misuse by Iraq and its farmers, the river is significantly smaller than it was a few years ago. The Ministry of Water Resource also declared that the rate of decline in water imports to Iraq had begun gradually and will decrease by 30% by 2035. But seeing the condition as it is of now, it seems the river will completely dry up till then. In the Bible, the Euphrates was one of the rivers that flows in the Garden of Eden. The river was also marked one of the boundaries of the land promised by God to Abraham and his descendants. In the book of Revelation, it is prophesied that in the future the Euphrates will dry up in preparation for the battle of Armageddon. Revelation 16:16. Then they gathered the kings together to the place in Hebrew is called Armageddon. This verse talks about the kings of the east mentioned in verse 12. Revelation 6:12. The sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings of the east. So from this verse, we also see that before the river dries up, the sixth angel poured out his bowl on it. That means that as of now, the present that we are living in, the sixth angel might have already poured his bowl out. We also see in Revelation 9:14, saying to the sixth angel who had the trumpet, "Release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates." So the four angels who had been prepared for this hour, the day, the month, and the year, were released to kill a third of mankind. This verse doesn't specify if this is going to happen after or before the river dries up.
Alright, so these dragons that's coming out, what's a third of mankind that they're supposed to be getting at? Is this the chosen that's going to be getting slaughtered? Or is this the hijack getting slaughtered by dragons, man? Hey, they're scared of angels. We talking about Drakan Kun.
But we have never had a catastrophe or an event that wipes a third of the humanity yet. So it is believable that this happens after the drying of the river. Chapter 16 also talks about the kings of the east. It talks about how the kings of the east are preparing. It doesn't specify what they are preparing for. We see that the Battle of Armageddon happens here, so it might mean the preparation for the battle. The chapter 16 also talks about some disaster events about to happen after the drying of the river Euphrates. Revelation 16:13-16. And I saw three unclean spirits, like frogs, come out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet.
The mouth of the dragon, right? They're telling you some dragon drop.
So this particular verse talks about the beast, the dragon that emerges from the water in previous chapters, and also about a false prophet, and how unclean spirits like frogs come out of their mouth. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of the God Almighty. This verse says that those beings are evil spirits, and also mentions how they can perform miracles. It mentions how they will go brainwash all the leaders of the earth to join the battle of Armageddon. Verse 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keeps his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. This verse tells us about how the ones who are ready are blessed. Unless he is unready, he will walk naked and see his shame. This might also mean that all sins will be exposed in this time, and those who are not redeemed will be put to shame.
Well, the code keepers, are going to shine, man. That's why no matter how hard it is, no matter how bad or good a day you got, just keep the code, man. I gotta let go.
Chapter 16, verse 19. And the great city was divided into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. The great Babylon came into remembrance before God, to give into her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. This verse talks about how the great city was divided into three parts. I don't know if this verse is talking about the three countries where the river Euphrates flow: Turkey, Syria, and Iraq. Verse 20-21. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed God because of the plague of the hail. For the plague thereof was exceeding great. This verse talks about how hailstorms, each stone about the weight of a talent, in the New International Version translate to 100 pounds, which is about 45 kgs. A 45 kg hailstorm would look somewhat like this. Now all these prophecies were made 2,000 years before, and the only prophecy we almost see come through are the drying of river Euphrates. Are you excited for the prophecy or terrified, and hope it is wrong?
The people will decide if they're excited or are they terrified. Are you excited for, HaWah to show up? They'll be terrified. The hijack, stay terrified. You know what I'm saying? That's why they gotta keep invading. You gotta notice an invader keeps on invading, man. We just talking dragons. They throwing cartoon dragons at us, man. Let's get a couple more. This is some more,
fallen angels
the angel flow.
For this very
I'm
hour,
just kind of comparing these two flows with this Revelation flow.
Year. The Bible doesn't say why these four were bound or who they were, but it had to have been something horrifically evil. Did they defy God by mingling with the daughters of men, or was it something else? Was it something even worse? We just don't know. Of the fallen angels, Lucifer is the only one mentioned by name in the Bible. Prior to the four angels being loosed, all of the 7 seals have been opened, and 5 of the 7 trumpets sounded. Anyone alive at this particular point in history?
We're just talking dragons and the Mississippi. Huh? All these trumpets, man, that's them dragon sounding, man.
They had seen some extremely horrific things. They experienced an earthquake, unlike anything ever experienced. They've witnessed the sun turning black, the moon turning blood red, the sky disappearing like a scroll, and mountains and islands disappearing. They've witnessed unimaginable death, famine, and suffering. But soon, they're going to see an army so terrifying that even their worst nightmares can't compare. Now let's talk a little bit about the Haditha Dam. Haditha is a city in West.
Damn dams, man.
Give me 30
So
seconds.
it's a
I'll make you 20% more on your e-commerce, TikTok,
underneath
and Facebook ads. Actually, only take 10
Mars,
seconds.
man. So
This is all you need to
we're
do.
just talking about Amman.
Haditha is a city in western Iraq, and it's about 150 miles northwest of Baghdad. The Haditha Dam is north of Haditha, and it's around 6 miles long and about 200 feet high, making it one of the largest dams in the world. It provides electricity to hundreds of thousands of homes, and some is 450 miles away. It also regulates the flow of the Euphrates, and it provides water for irrigation. Now, during the 2000s,
Does it regulate the flow, or did it create the flow of the fake Euphrates? And it had to make it huge to get symbolic of a great Nahal, right? A great river. That's, we just asking questions, man. You got to drop my belly flopping.
in the Middle East was so lush as to earn itself the nickname of Fertile Crescent. Now, however, desertification is advancing, putting whole communities in danger. Even though Revelation 16:12 talks about the Euphrates drying up, there is some context to this. It must take place during the tribulation period. The drying up of the Euphrates during the tribulation isn't because of an increase in temperature or because droughts are getting worse. It also won't be due to an intentional diminishing of water. Scripture tells us that this will be done via a supernatural source. Now, supposedly, the Haditha Dam is so creepy that guards would draw straws because most of them just didn't want to go down there. Soldiers who have had contact with the dam often reported odd feelings and strange sounds, and a lot of them will talk about the fallen angels. And here are a few of their stories, but take them with a grain of salt. This one is from a Marine. Our convoys would stop at the base of the dam, and then we had to hike up 13 flights of stairs to reach our berthing areas. I had to carry an MK-19 Mod 3 up these stairs each day after we dropped supplies at our ASP bases. It was completely pitch black, and you could hear a woman crying very loudly. I can't remember how many times I ran up these stairs with night vision goggles on, terrified that this woman was going to eat me. I brought many people with me to confirm, and everyone knew the ghost of the Haditha Dam before I even took them there. That sound still terrifies me to this day. Here's another story. The Haditha Dam is a very eerie place. The feeling that I got while I was there was a very ominous, mystical experience. My fellow Marines and I had many conversations about how the area around both Haditha and the dam felt very mysterious and very old. While we were there, we oftentimes would go explore the dam, and I could definitely say that the lower you went in the dam, the stronger and more intense, the ominous, oppressive, and dark feeling you would get. There also was a time when a friend and I had to spend 2 weeks there to take a Humvee training course. While we were there, we would go exploring. And on one occasion, I remember we went to the second to the last level, and there was a couple Marines down there that we had never seen. And they were what seemed to us like they were just chilling down there, but at the same time, it seemed like they were guarding the area down below. They didn't honestly tell us. It was more or less the impression that I got. They told us that this level was as low as we could go, and that the access to the lowest level was completely sealed off, and it wasn't accessible. At the time, we didn't think much of it, but I do remember the feeling I had down there was one of great anger. Not of my own anger, but of an overall sense of anger that just seemed to be there. On our deployment, we lost 27 guys in our battalion, and several of them were very good friends of mine, so I always attributed my feelings toward the circumstances and not understanding that there might be more to it. It wasn't until I started researching the fallen angels and reading the book of Enoch and the book of Revelation and the Bible that things started to really make an impact on me. I realized much later that my buddies and I were at an incredibly old place. And my buddy and I were always security for our squad, so we would always be posted up on a roof whenever we were static, and we would always be talking about how mysterious and old everything felt there, especially when we were near the Euphrates. This comes from a ranger in a special task force, and it says that I got this report from a ranger, a special task force that went into the lower level of the Haditha Dam. The majority of that task was U.S. Marines, but the overall composition is a wide variety of American, British, and Australian operators. This is the area that 4 fallen angels are chained until the last days. The tunnel at the base of the dam opened up into a cave. A feeling of dread gripped every member of the team, though they were quite battle-hardened.
Look, man, these stories sound great, but we got Area 51, man. We got all these underground bunkers over here across the 4 corners. You know what I'm saying? The BLM got all this stuff locked up, all these underground bases, DUB bases, man. So, you know, you hear strange screams, women's, and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot going on underground. That make it the Euphrates, though. Don't make that the real Euphrates. I don't see no conclusive proof about you being afraid and feeling some fear and anger that nails it in the coffin. Case closed. That's the real Euphrates. Couple more, man. You know, I'm just seeing what they have to say. Anything concrete, you know, but that damn dam might be the source of a fake river. Changing the course of the waters, how they do it. Change the mem sauce. Yosef been telling you. Yosef, man, I just got a fresh supply of mem sauce. Gonna last me a good amount of time for me and my tribe. Holla at Yosef with a mem sauce. It's one of them winners. You gonna need your mem sauce. Get your copper up, man. Yosef got to drop, man. Hit the con up on IG at Yosef the Real. YSEF _DA _real. Yosef the Real, man. All right. Come on, man. Let's get this last couple for the dismount. Y'all been surfing away with a knock to the water. Do you okay? Oh yeah. Yeah, we got that Moray. Birdman Emperor. Shout out to the Khan Ayob Nazir, aka Chief Moray. Let's get it, Moray. Let's get it. been surfing away with the con. You know what I'm saying? He been popping off about orientation. You know? Let's see what this has to connect with the flow of UBTV, Cootie Mayo, and you, my nigga, because you got the job. You surfing away. All right. Let's see what we got. All good. We know what they up to. They don't want us to get that chief drop, that moray flow. But we in here. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. Can we get it, boss? Back it up from here. Yeah, they on that play for real, my nigga. But these are the times I just take a moment and I breathe in from my key. You know, we've been doing a lot of talking.
Okay, so
now we
that's
breathe
what
in
we
from the key.
dealing
As soon as I
with
start breathing in from the key,
That's what we
the
dealing
key
with
starts
here.
popping
The
off
original
again.
7 streams of
Let's
the
see what the con
Mississippi.
got to say.
And Isaiah 11 and 15 tells you that there are 7 streams in the Egyptian river that comes from the Egyptian sea, which is the Gulf of Mexico. Right? All of this goes into depth. Very simple. And here's another hammer dropper. If you look in Egypt, the Egyptian river or the Nile River does not flow into a Egyptian sea. The Egyptian Sea in the Middle East, also known as the Red Sea, which was originally called Sinus Arabicus, doesn't have any rivers that lead into it. Not one river, let alone 7. So what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with North America. We're not dealing with North Africa, because that's how they switch everything around. They make everything symmetrical. They make everything line up exactly the other side of the world so they can throw you off and deceive the nations. That's what they've been doing. And when I say they, I mean this same oppressor who taught you to worship other gods, speak a different language, who taught you to change your culture, took your culture away from you. All this, that's who they is. We already know who the they is. And look at this. It says, and make men go over dry shod, right? What does that mean? That means men shall walk over the Mississippi with dry shoes. And you look at the Trail of Tears. You look at the Trail of Tears. And what happened? You had Cherokee, so-called Cherokee Indians crossing the Mississippi on foot. And why? Because the Mississippi River has been drying up so much over these past centuries. In fact, it used to be about like 20 times the size it is now. Look at this. Look how much it's been drying up. It's crazy.
Now this video is 4 years ago.
But they used to cover a lot of land.
Said centuries, man.
Like if you live in the South, Southeast Texas, Louisiana, places like that, the Mississippi used to cover your land. All of that used to be covered by the Mississippi. Look at this. This is how big the Mississippi was. Don't you see why it got the title Great River? If you live in the South like I do, if you live in Southeast Texas, or if you live in Louisiana, you'll notice that in the dirt, there's a whole bunch of seashells and like stuff that you'll find on a beach, right? But you're not at a beach, you're in your own backyard and you're seeing seashells everywhere. And that's why, because because thousands of years ago, your Mississippi River used to basically cover your home. And that's why certain parts of Louisiana, especially New Orleans, is actually below sea level. So that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the Great River, the real, authentic Great River. When we deal with Deuteronomy, Hadabarim, chapter 1, verse 7, it says, "Turn you and take your journey and go to the mount of the Amorites and unto all the places nigh thereunto, in the plain, in the hills, and in the vale, and in the south, and by the seaside, to the land of the Canaanites, and unto Lebanon, and unto the great river, the river Euphrates." This is what we dealing with. This is what we dealing with. This is what we dealing with. So shalom.
Just hold on. Popping off, man. Hey, Kanye, yo, got the drop. Is we crazy? They're showing you the comparisons. We even got HaWah's popping off, bringing some great comparison between, some cartography off the maps that's showing the Euphrates connected with the Bering Strait flow. Or say it with me, Antioch.
Which ones?
Lego.
Right here is the strait that they were talking about. And I'm thinking that, here we go. Let's see. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Oh, shoot.
Kavera, Keber, Eber.
All right. So this is the Cerreto de Anara, or Anea. But when you actually go into it some more, here's another aspect of it. So this is America.
Antioch.
And they're talking more about the strait. But what's interesting is, okay, this is obviously like in Spanish, Italian, or something like that. Who knows? Could be Latin, but I think it's in Spanish. But I'm getting that this, if you can see that, that's the river Euphrates that they're talking about. I don't see it well enough to go quite into it, but from what I gather, at my very bad comprehension of Spanish, is that they're saying this strait is the narrow passage that the Most High allowed us to get into.
Antioch.
It's called the...
Yeah, we got it, Aqua. We got it. They cut you off, but we got it. So we know Antioch connected to the Presta flow, connected to the David flow. There they go. And how is one waterway connected to it all? We see how it's all popping off, breaking off the Mississippi in the hall, all these tributaries. And now even Putin's looking for the map gold. Even Russia is in the search for the gold. Is it play? So where are they looking for the same place that they lady? Russia's not that far like you think it is for. When I rush, I don't think about over there on the other side of the world, on the other side of the ball. Nah, man, our boss. And closer, especially when you factor in orientation. Didn't Sarah Palin say something crazy like, I could see Russia from my home in Alaska? So Russia's very close to Alaska, man. That Asia is very close to this Antioch situation, Euphrates situation, you know what I'm saying? And that is going right into the California, Oregon, all that, into the Utah flow. It's all happening. So don't think this Russian and we're different, very far away. Mississippi or the Utah, the Grand Canyon, Grand Canyon flow. So, for the distance, I look at this Russia flow and we out of here, baby. But, just think about it. You know what I'm saying? What does the Euphrates have to do with the Grand Canyon? These hijacks, man. Euphrates got to do with the Grand Canyon. What does Euphrates got to do with Antioch? You know what I'm saying? What Euphrates got to do with the Mississippi, the Nile River, the Nahal River? What does this great river got to do with Atlantis, man? What does Atlantis to do with Judah?
Established to themselves
Lemuria,
that they are
Pacific,
the oppressed ones.
the
What
best
happened
man.
to us? How come we have forgotten that we were a superpower, an established superpower, like maybe the second biggest or the biggest superpower not too long ago, just 100 years ago? The Ottoman Empire was from the east towards the west, and we have been in power for several hundred years. How come we keep on forgetting that? How come we have established, we have made up our minds that we have to be in one camp or the other? No, my brothers and sisters, this is not the time of thinking like slaves. We don't have to be in one camp or the other. I'm not making the case for being in the American camp, and I'm openly opposing the idea of putting the Muslim in the Russian camp. Both of these camps are the camps around the Euphrates River. That's Syria, Iraq, Libya, and the case of Turkey is heating up as well. So if Russia and United States is fighting in Syria, United States is holding Iraq, NATO is in Libya, if all of their concentration of their activities around the Euphrates River, then what does it make? On top of it, add the discovery of the biggest gold mine in Turkey, just near the banks of Euphrates River. You would know that all of this fighting is happening around the Euphrates River because of the wealth that is there. There is a concentration of the oil wells around the Euphrates River.
Or are they staging a fight like a puppet show while they really are brewing for some much bigger fight with these dragons getting released to the Mississippi?
And now the gold mines are being discovered around it as well. So this war that is happening around Euphrates River is because of the wealth that is there. The fossil fuels and the gold mines that many have been discovered and more will be discovered very soon. So that's why this war is happening. What's the teaching of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about this war? Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that there will be a fighting for the mountain of the gold that will come out of the Euphrates River. And everyone fighting over there would be thinking that he would survive and get the gold, but all of them would be killed and nobody would get it, and so much so that every 999 would be killed out of every 1,000. And all
because they fighting over the wrong spot. They fighting over the wrong mountain.
also, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that the strategy that if you find that time, if you happen to be at that time, do not take anything out of that. So anyone fighting over there for that gold, for that fossil fuel wealth, either Muslim or non-Muslim are fighting for that wealth, and they are not fighting for haqq. They are not fighting for truth. Especially for the Muslims, their gold and their wealth, if you have to fight for that, this is haram for you. So right now, the interests of Russia and United States and NATO is around the Euphrates River because of the wealth of Euphrates. This is taking the shape of Armageddon or the World War III or the clash of civilizations that would happen around Euphrates.
Armageddon. So where they all really gonna be gathering, boss? Where they gonna be gathering? I mean, yeah, United States, Alaska. Oh, that's the Bering Strait, Bering Sea. You know what I mean? And that connects with Russia, right? And all this is Russia, man. How these people get all this land, right? Come on, man. This is Nagaland. This is for the Rus. This is Nagaville. So this Mongolia is connected right so ever so close with Alaska, right? Going right down Canada, Vancouver to Los Angeles, right? So you don't have to go all the way across here to get to know Russia. When I say Putin, don't try to go across the Atlantic to get way over here in Russia when you could just hoppity skip, man. So where's the Euphrates? Where's the great rivers? And how much gold and how many cities are buried underneath Mississippi? I mean, and the one we just dug up, man, called Linwood. How many more Naga cities? It hurts, especially when we go on Google Maps and we could really see like the outlines of these cities under the water. We got to get back on these reservoirs and these damn dams and these, especially the Tennessee Valley Authority, TVA, the Flaming George Dam. All this stuff connected with the Green River. All this stuff, man, connected with the Mississippi. As it dries up, and the Prentice, what they call the Prentice, or the underwater ghost town in Mississippi. Covered, swallowed by the mighty Mississippi River by the 1870s. How can that be when the Mississippi is shrinking? How can it suddenly just swallow its city? Oh, you're talking damn dams again, man. Damn dams. Where's the Euphrates? Where's the Ganges? Does North America even exist, boss? Are we talking the same north-south, great big mama tributary that been popping off of the cons? We're talking about Havilia, India, or we're talking about Havilia and India Superior? These are questions you gotta decide, man. Because we believe we're already home. In Cathay, in China, in Mexico, in Florida, yeah, in India, superior. Because if there's a superior India, by golly, by golly, by golly, there must be an inferior India. If there's a superior India, there must be an inferior. And the Ganges here might have a lot to do with the Ganges here. And Cathay. But where's Asia? Yeah, Managa, it's looking like we already home, boss. And it's a true pleasure to surf the wave with you. Yeah, Noble Drew, he feel Euphrates is right here, connected with Zion, connected with Eden, connected with the Amaru Khan. Hey, wakey, wakey. Whatever's coming out is for us, not against us. We don't have to be in fear. We in code. You don't got to be in fear. You got the code, my nigga. You got HaWah. You got the truth. And the word continues. Like I say, only HaWah got control of the waters. Only HaWah. They can spray. They can cause their own, famines and, all kinds of, issues with the food and all that kind of stuff. But water is being born, that primary water, love to your primary mem sauce, it's being born millions of gallons a day, man. We got to get the water to the truck, back the water to the eyes, man. Make that living water. But first, we need orientation. We got to know where we're at. This is already home. Welcome to Eden, my nigga. Welcome to the promised land. Welcome to true orientation. Hey, step, suit up, choose up.